Nigeria starts to work today, I don't have a car to drive on the nice road. I still have to buy one. Or when I become president, I'll be driving the one that is there before, the used car, because I'm not going to buy a new car as the president of Nigeria. I'm going to repair the old one, because I see them driving it up and down all the time. They look really nice. We just need to change the tires and drive around wherever we need to go. And if they break down, we can find another bus that can take us. There's no reason why the president of Nigeria cannot enter a bus to go to his location. And the president doesn't even go very far. Abuja, you can go around Abuja in 30 minutes, especially if you clear the road for us. But I'm just saying that as an aside, that there's a lot that can be done with little. And if we can all join hands together, if we can support ourselves, we'll defeat these people, and you will be surprised how bad we can defeat them.
Take it!
Even with the low registration for PVC right now, we are hearing that over 40 million people have registered for PVC. So many of them have not been able to collect it because there are some bottlenecks that we will unravel in the course of fighting this battle. And we'll make sure that as many Nigerians that have registered will get their PVC. If we can just get half of that, we'll win the election, because the last person to win an election in Nigeria won by about 14 million votes. What am I trying to tell you? We can do it the way they did it in Mexico just 3 days ago. The guy called AMLO. By afternoon, everybody knew that he had won. There was no dispute. Nobody's going to go to court, because he beat them hands down. And I think is the way we need to get this done, is to beat Buhari hands down. Yes, sir. I am saying, and I'm being clairvoyant about it, I'm not bragging. I think if we do this very early, if they see the signs and wonders that is popping up left, right, and center, they may just package Buhari and take him back to London and say he's sick, he cannot win the election. Because I don't know that they want the man to lose election to someone like us. He will just die. I'm sorry, I'm not saying, but he will just die of heartache. Because, the arrogance of the APC is too much. So we have to douse that arrogance by making sure that they lose this election. And they lose it before the election itself. And how to lose the election before the election is exactly what we are doing here today. It's this bonding together that we are doing. Is the support that we're doing. As we are sitting here, thousands and thousands of people are watching what we are doing here through live stream on Facebook. When we are done, thousands and thousands of more people will keep watching them. Live stream that we did some 4 months ago, people are still watching them to today. We've met people who said, I've watched everything you've said. But it's not only ordinary people or regular people that are watching what we are saying. The government is paying attention to what we are saying, to the extent that anything we say now, they will go and implement it the next day. Does that not tell you something about the potency of this movement? The latest one they did now is to release money to the roads that we have been complaining about. They have just released the rest of the money to finish Lagos-Ibadan highway yesterday. They've also released money to Second Niger Bridge. Yes, yeah. They just released it yesterday. But don't be fooled. They will not release the money. They are just playing games. It's an election gimmick. They have also released money for Kano-Kaduna highway 3 days ago. We went through that road and were complaining, and we even took pictures of it. We said we want to make June 12th Democracy Day. They hijacked the idea. They named June 12th Democracy Day. The other day now, they have started saying that they want to be generating electricity from solar, which was our original idea. Meanwhile, before now, they were generating electricity from windmills that they put in Katsina, but there's no wind in Katsina. So the windmills are just standing there. Like number one, the thing is not spinning. Because, as usual, they put it in the wrong way. When we started shouting about herdsmen, suddenly now they are waking up. They have even claimed that they have arrested some of the herdsmen. Because we are speaking about these issues. We went to Jos. Our hall was adjacent to, this is true life story, our hall was adjacent to an APC meeting. But we didn't have people in their meeting. Our room was filled up like this. And they started playing music to attract the young people on our side. They started playing shaku shaku. But yet, the young people did not leave our side. They brought food, brought water, distributed money. People did not go to their event. We didn't have anything except our ideas and voices that were spoken directly to the people. And they stood there with us. When we were leaving, and this was on record, one guy gave me 200 naira. Another one gave me 100 naira as a contribution. Right there in Jos. But you know the sad thing? The day after we left, they killed almost 120-something people in that same Jos.
Wow.
Yes. We don't even know if some of the guys that attended our rally have been killed. It's just as we left Jos. The last thing I will be saying will be regarding solution, and I want to hear your ideas and questions. We met a mayor today, the mayor of Riverdale, and she advised me to be smiling a lot more. You know, she said, you know, you just have to smile more. But quite honestly, what is there to smile about? Yeah, I will be feeling like a hypocrite if I'm out here just laughing as if I'm happy. I can pretend to be happy, but there's nothing to be happy about in Nigeria. That's the truth. Because I have just returned from Nigeria and I've lived through the reality. You know, and you don't have to go deep into Nigeria. You don't have to go to Jalingo to understand Nigeria. You just have to travel between Lagos, Benin Road, where 3 of my friends that I came with from Spain died in a motor accident. Or you just have to live inside Lagos and the tanker explodes on you and everybody, 54 cars are burnt and over 9 people died. But another 10 people I heard have died because of the high degrees of burns that the body suffered and because there were no hospitals to treat them. Like the guy asked me yesterday, he said, you know, maybe if you're like Obama, you know, you should. I told him, I said, if Obama drove from Yola to Jalingo, he will fall sick. So don't compare my campaign with Obama's campaign. Obama cannot go to Yola and Jalingo and come back and not end up in hospital for 2 weeks.
Yes. Take it!
Yes. Because that road is a death trap.
Yes.
I'm not making, these are things that we filmed them as we traveled. If you can see our videos. So the challenges in Nigeria are different from the challenges out here. Obama can get on a plane and fly to this city, fly to another city. When they're tired, they just drop in another city, they fly into a 5-star hotel. There's no 5-star hotel.
1 star.
There's 5-star suffering. You know, that's the only thing I saw. Anywhere outside of Abuja, there's no government. In most part of, you know, all this one we are saying that, oh, maybe Northerners are empowered. There's no Northerner empowered. Northerners, we just have Northerners who happen to be in power, but the Northerners are not benefiting anything. The real poverty in Nigeria is in the north.
Yes.
I am telling you this. So anybody that has ever said that Northerners are enjoying, they should go and ask for forgiveness. I'm saying this from the bottom. I've seen it. I just came from the north. I came from Jos. I went to Yola. I went to Jalingo. But you know the good news? All of them want to see the end of this Buhari regime. Now. Yes, the best song that was composed for us was composed by a guy in Jalingo.
Yes.
He has never met me before. And if you listen to the song, which I'm sure you'll play before we go, you'll be wondering, what could these guys become if they had the opportunity, if they have the chance? These are innovative brains that are waiting to unleash themselves on the world. This guy composed the song, you listen to it, it won't be so different from what the rapper could do here in Atlanta. But they have no country because they don't have electricity to even mass produce the song. When they fall sick, they have no hospitals to go to. These are probably guys that went to university or even didn't get admission to university because somebody converted their admission spots to those of their children. It's completely a federal republic of injustice. That's what Nigeria is. And that is what must change, and that is the message we are harping upon you. Some of you will ask me sometimes, oh, I want to hear you give us ideas. We want to see your manifestos. When we brought out manifestos, nobody read the manifestos. They are still on the website. No, it's true. Because the world is right now suffering from attention deficit disorder.
Yes.
Nobody has time to sit down and read a manifesto that is 4 pages long. Anything that is more than 140 characters, status update on Facebook, forget it. If you want to compound anything, just write it down in a long form. Nobody's reading anymore because there's just too much problem afflicting individuals, and you guys know it here. You know what we have to deal with. This is summer, right? Everybody is happy. Let the winter come. 6 months, we are all depressed because they're all walking around like Eskimos.
Like jackets.
And you are wearing like 6 layers of jackets just because you want to make ends meet, and send money to your families back home and pay your bills over here. So I just think that we can end, not that I know we can end the misery. We often discuss it. There's nothing happening in Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen, compatriots, that needs any rocket scientist to fix.
Yes.
Nothing. Is it the roads that needs to be constructed that you need a rocket scientist to come and construct? Or is it to put a roof on top of a primary school? Every primary school in Nigeria has 6 classrooms, and the principal, the headmaster's office is usually maybe one office or 2. Then there's a teacher's office. In my primary school, the teacher is sitting in front of the class, right there, so he doesn't even have a separate office. But let's assume that we have a headmaster's office and a teacher's office and 6 classrooms and a female and male urinal. That is all we need. Nigeria cannot provide it for our little kids. But you ask yourself, people who cannot build primary schools and secondary schools, where do they get the marble to build the biggest mansions in the world? Oh. If you go to some houses in Nigeria, you don't know where you are. You will need Google Maps to navigate some people's houses in Nigeria. All these politicians. That's your friend. I heard he's in town. I'm surprised he's not there. Maybe he's on his way to come and wax some songs for us. So, why can't you just get the marble to build? We don't even need marble for the secondary schools or houses. We just need roofs. We need some furniture. But you have somebody who will have a chair in Nigeria that is practically $10,000 to just buy a love seat. $10,000 will build, I'm telling you this categorically, $10,000 to build a primary school from the beginning to end and put fan on it and roof in a lot of villages across Nigeria. Because why? Water to build it is free. The sand to build it, you just collect it after rain. Right? All you need to buy is cement and the zinc and the roof. Plank, wood that it used to be is available in most places in Nigeria. It's very cheap to get. So why is it that we can never do anything right for ourselves? It's the reason why we must take Nigeria back.
Take it back!
And briefly, let me tell you, the reason I'm not so worried is how easily we can quickly get a lot of things done in Nigeria. How easily we can fix our security apparatus. We have over 365,000 policemen, but half of them are going after rich men and women and their girlfriends as bodyguards, carrying umbrellas and bags for them. A head of state that knows what he's doing will just withdraw all of them. Because why? If the rich people don't have security, they will start behaving well. No, I'm serious. If you know that there's no policeman to guard you, when they give you contract to do road, you go and do the road first. Because you know that if you don't, the people will know where to find you. And then the policemen can then be guarding the rest of the country. Power. What it used to cost in 1960 to build a power plant. With 1% of that amount today, you can build a power plant that will supply electricity to more households in the world because of technology, so that we can tap into for free. Today in Houston, you can prefabricate a refinery. They will do it for you and disassemble it and take it to wherever you want and assemble it, and it will be working almost the next day. But Nigeria refuses to refine its petroleum products. Instead, we ship it out, refine it, and buy it back. And then we are complaining about...
Like Mumu.
Dangote is building a big refinery through the help of the Nigerian state, but the Nigerian state cannot build for itself a refinery. Just one. Since Obasanjo days, there's no type of refinery they have not mentioned. Greenfield, I don't know whether they just do Google search and mention it. Greenfield, modular refinery. They know all the refineries, but they have never built a single one. What about infrastructure? Why should it take 20 years to complete the east-west highway in the Niger Delta region, when the Niger Delta region is producing 2-point-something barrels of oil on a daily basis? Have you guys been to Port Harcourt International Airport? It is a crime to call it an airport, talk less of calling it an international airport. The departure lounge of the international airport in Port Harcourt is under a shed. Is anybody here from Port Harcourt? I know you will never raise up your hand. You are very bold. It is a shame. International airport in Port Harcourt. What about all of this is as a result of corruption? Our corrupt leaders are getting vote every day. You know what happened in Nigeria today? The Supreme Court said that they have looked at all the cases against her, and they found him not guilty. And they now had a function to even write a press release, and he mentioned the name of Martin Luther King. He quoted Martin Luther King in his press release. And I'm asking myself, where is thunder these days? When God used to be angry, you write some things like before you finish Shimati, before you write Luther like this, you just what happened to all these African gods? Eh? They have been corrupted. I read it, my heart was bleeding. But that is Nigeria for you. There was a time Ibori was also acquitted the same way, of all the charges, until the British people sent him to jail. And when he came back to Nigeria, what did they do? They gave him a grand reception. I won't be surprised now if Saraki is planning a reception of multi-faith reception. Babalawo on one side, Muslim leaders, and all of them will be saying that it is God that has vindicated him. Thanksgiving of the biggest proportion in Ilorin. It's about to happen. They might even do it 3 places: Ilorin, Abuja, Lagos, and maybe Dubai. You know why? The man is taking home 13.7 million monthly. That is not for the Senate president too. That's for ordinary senators. They are swimming in money.
13.5.
Allowances are flowing left, right, and center. And some of the allowances are flowed to some of the judges anyway. All these judges of inequity. Corruption has killed our country. And the current government is not capable of fighting corruption because it's a product of corruption itself. You know this is the moment you join APC. Your sins are wiped off. But guess what? APC is a drug we used to go and buy in those days. Yes. And it is very notorious for not having an expiration date. There's no time you go to APC, they'll give it to you. There's no expiry date on it. But this is our movement. We write the day we choose a party, that will be the expiration date of APC. Yes. PDP is already expired. That one is gone. But APC will have to expire as soon as we name a party under whose banner flag will be flying in the next election come 20 2019. So, brothers and sisters, I chose to use a different mode of communicating to you today because the reason we are here is known to you. All of you seated here probably will even be better presidents than me. You know the problems. And I'm sure that most of you are definitely more capable than Buhari. That one I can say 100%. That there's nobody in this room, including that baby, that is there, that is not stronger than Buhari. You can tell that that baby has energy, by the way. Buhari has zero stamina or energy. That is not better than Buhari or so many of these guys that are leading Nigeria. You know, if I had any iota of doubt that Buhari is weak and incompetent, it wasn't until I met the Minister of Communication on that radio interview in Ibadan that I said, wow, this man really went and gathered some jokers. There's no doubt. Because you can just hear the way he was talking, that there was nothing up there. He was completely an analog human being. And that was why it was easy to demolish him digitally during that interview. You know, that's the situation in our hands. So again, I see we have a full house now. I want to thank those who have just joined us. I know the rain was a major hindrance, and traffic was on the way. Somehow, Nigeria must rear its head wherever we go. Yes. Because of all this in this Atlanta, we had to go slow again on our way here. It was pretty bad. Traffic followed us everywhere we went, but we were able to make it here. I want to thank you so much for coming. Honestly, we've been on the road non-stop, and you don't have to worry about energy. We have it. You don't have to worry about stamina. We have it. You don't have to worry about focus. We have it. You don't have to worry about ideas. We have it. But unfortunately, like Patrice Lumumba would say that people who have ideas have no power, and people with power have zero ideas. That is what is killing Nigeria. It is time for us to put people with ideas in the position of power. TakeItBack! And we have just come to ask you to let us do it together. Emphasis, let us do it together. And we want to deliver to you a brand new country. Brand new country. Come 2019. Yes. You know, that kind of country where you arrive at the airport and you start feeling that, yes, this is a country. And right now, when you arrive at the airport in Nigeria, you're like, sometimes you want to turn back and say, Delta, when is it that you are departing? Because there's nothing here. It's scary. So that's the kind of country we want to build. As I've often said, and I will keep repeating, Nigeria is in such a state that we have to build a lot of things brand new. We have to build brand new highways, bridges, schools, brand new power plants, particularly through solar energy, and brand new ideas. And of course, brand new technology will drive all of these ideas. Once again, thank you so much for coming. And I look forward to having an engaging and interactive time with you. Thank you, Atlanta. Take it back.
Take it!
Take it! Take it! Take it!
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That is just the tip of the iceberg. So you can now see why there's a need to support this move. Not just support, we are in it together. We are in it together. I see light at the end of the tunnel. You know, there's a saying in the Bible that says, wailing may endure for a night, but laughter cometh in the morning. It's time for Nigerians to laugh again. It's time to restore the dignity and respect back to Nigeria. Right now, we are going to take a few questions. We are going to have six questions, 2 sets of 3. After that, we're going to dinner. But here's how the dinner will go. The dinner, we have tickets, and I want everybody to participate in this. We've made it very affordable, but you can go beyond that. We just pegged it down to $50 for the dinner. So let's eat together as a family. People will go around with tickets, just $50. We want everyone to partake of the dinner. But that is just the lowest because we want to make it affordable for everybody. So people will go around with the tickets, just grab your ticket. We also have souvenirs you grab and take home just to remember this day. All right? Right now we are going to take questions. We're going to take 6 for now before the dinner. Then we'll continue. It's going to be 3 sets of 3. 3 sets of 2. And then after dinner, 3 sets of 2. Then after that, after dinner, we'll continue.
Yeah, after 3, we'll take a response.
Yeah. Let me call the lady first. Doctor, please tell us your name and...
Take it back. Take it back. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Blessing Okene. I'm so proud of you, my brother. It is about time. My heart aches. Sometimes I weep for Nigeria. Sometimes in 2015, I was privileged to go to Nigeria. I was invited to the Commissioner of Education, Rivers State. And prior to that time, I had to package my curriculum and education because that's my area. Though my doctorate was in multicultural education, my master's was for curriculum and teaching. So prior to me leaving, I was advised by the governor to get prepared with my curriculum and education. So I had to revamp the curriculum of Rivers State. At least that was what I was told. I packed my things, went to Michigan State, where I had my master's, met with my professors. We put together a curriculum that will mimic that of Atlanta Public Schools, where I taught in high school. With that, I thought I got it going on. I went to Nigeria. My brother, it is well. I spent 8 months in Nigeria, waited for my brother, my friend, the governor, who actually invited me with Honorable Okene. And by the special grace of God, I was also privileged to meet with a friend, a father in politics, called Dr. Buzo, who was Commissioner for Health 3 times. So I thought I have dotted the I's and crossed the T's. It is well. I got there, submitted the resume, and the first disappointment I had was that, oh, okay, they are yet to confirm the governor. Remember, I have kids here. I also had business here. My dad was so foolish. I was naive. I closed down my business. Whoa. Left to Nigeria to serve. It wasn't for my own personal advertisement, believe me. I went there to serve because I feel that Nigeria needs people who are going to be passionate in serving. People who want to serve selflessly. People who are going to be there with their heart, the energy to serve. And so at the end of the day, believe me, after the governor was declared winner, I went for the first interview, was shortlisted. For the second one, I met a gridlock. I was told to submit this, and submit that, and submit this, and meet with this person. Some of those things are not in line with my faith, if you know what I mean. So at that point, I packed my things. I said, this is not the time for me. God Almighty knows why. Maybe I have to go back to US and reboot. Even coming back here, I am still wondering what the hell I'm doing here. Because I don't fit here anymore. I feel the urge. People are dying every day, people. We don't have a place here. At the end of the day, we will go home. If you're not getting ready to go home, believe me, you go to nursing home. How does that feel?
Wow. You choose one.
You have to choose one. Why don't you choose one? Why you don't have to battle with Alzheimer's? My people, believe me, our people need us. No matter how much they will try to destroy us, our people need us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Doctor. We're going to take another question, but please, I want to restrict it to 2 minutes. And let's go straight to the question, please. It's very important. We're going to have time for a lot of questions after the but right now, I'm going to take 2 more, and I'll give you room to answer your questions. Let me have...
that was not a question.
Yeah, that's just one. We're taking 2 more.
2 more? Oh.
Yeah, we're taking 2 more. 2 more, then 2 sets. That's fine. Let me get you, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bolaji. I really appreciate you, Mr. President, to be. My question is, I really appreciate everything you said. I've watched you for a couple of times online, and I'm very impressed. I'm supposed to be at work. I have to call off the work because I need to be here.
Take it back. Take it back.
So this is so much important to me. My question is this. It's easier said than done. I'm a very straightforward person. And I don't quote questions because I have to ask you some challenging questions. Please, sir. If we do the thing the same way, we're going to get the same result, except we do it differently. So, now with your passion, with everything, you got it, with your idea and everything is okay. But how are you going to do it differently from this situation we are in now? Because the reason why I ask this question, how are you going to do it differently, is that we people that are sitting down here, we are the one that shouted Hosanna for Buhari 4 years ago. That's right. Are we not the same people shouting crucify right now again? How is it not going to be the same situation with you, sir, when you are in the office? Because these days, Nigeria is a very complex nation. We all come from this place, and we have to be realistic at this point. It is when we are struggling, when we are having trouble, everything, that is when we know we are in trouble. But at the same time we are relieved, we forget our problems. So the thing is, I'm very happy with your energy and everything. But please, I just want you to expatiate a little bit. We know the problem. We don't want to talk about problem today, but the solution to the problem. Yes. That is what we are here for. Yes. There's no single person that doesn't know. Each time I'm going to Nigeria, I have to fast for 3 days before I go. And when I'm coming back, I don't even think of God. How easy is that? Please, you've said it. I'm supporting you before I meet you, and I will support you to become president. And my thing is, how are you not going to disappoint us? Even with the people that we say we are supporting you, we're not looking for no favor. I'm ready to serve for free. God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. You can see how passionate that brother is. I'm going to take one more question now. Give him time to answer it. Then we'll take 3 more. Let me have that brother. Let's tell us your name and your question, please. Let's go straight to the point.
Thank you very much. I came here at 4 o'clock actually, so I came here early so I was going to be able to answer my question. I see some young people in here. I feel like we are the one that's going to change Nigeria, and we see some youth and Mr. Sowore here. That's why I'm here. I've been following everything from the beginning. One of my questions is pertaining to the Nigerian youth that came here, and we are basically going to be the future of Nigeria. I personally am moving back to Nigeria next year by the grace of God. And I
can win the election.
Amen. If we win the election, that's why we are here. I'm here to support. When we win the election, we are here to support. I mean, I did not come here for him to lose. I came here to support.
Yes.
And I'm here, and I'm moving back to Nigeria to implement my tech idea because I know that young people need to move back and we need to make that change.
Yes.
And one of my questions is that, I'm sorry, I actually wrote them down. I'm sorry for wasting your time. Sorry.
We're helping you. We're ready for it.
So, honestly, Nigeria has been a two-party system. It's either APC or PDP. And this is not everybody knows that. Any third party that is running for anything is being considered a joke. In all reality. Before. What plan do you have to outlast these people? What are your plans? And also, what are your plans for Nigerians? What plans do you plan to implement to make people want to move back? Because we Nigerians are already comfortable. We don't want to leave our comfort zone. And honestly, everybody here we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have engineers. I see some of them in here. I'm not going to say you need us, but we have things we can offer. People right now, they don't bring that to us. They don't ask us. They don't say, oh, what are your expertise? How do you plan to bring people that have the skill and coalesce them into our system to make Nigeria better? That is my question.
Thank you. I'm going to just take the first comment as a comment. And I appreciate Professor Blessing Okene's very candid view about what is happening in Nigeria and what happened to her in 2015. Professor, I wish you had contacted me. You would not have gone for 8 months. I would have told you outright that the people you were going to serve in Rivers State were not interested in service. Those guys are a gang of robbers. Except you were willing to go and rob. There's no way you could have made it in their midst. Even if they had offered you that commissionership, you probably have been back here now. Because as you yourself must have noticed, you said certain things that you didn't mention, that they introduced you into some ungodly things. That's how they operate. If they cannot trust that you can do terrible things, they cannot trust you to be part of the gang of thieves that are going to be running the country. We'll discuss about this at another symposium in the future. But next year when we win, Professor, I promise you, you'll be back. You'll have too much work on your hands. I say when we win. Yes, we will win. After we win. See, my English is starting to... Yes. Bolaji, thank you so much for skipping work. I hope your supervisors don't see you live. But thank you so much for coming today. And you have said something that I kind of disagree with. And that is this whole notion that Nigeria is complex. Nigeria is not complex. It's not. If it is complex, it would have been so difficult to be stealing easily from it. If it was complex, it wouldn't have had stupid leaders for 50, 80 years. I'm saying it without apology. There's no complex system that allows idiots to run riot over it. I'm telling you, if it was complex, it would have been a system that would be difficult to navigate. But the word complex is a vocabulary of excuse that has been planted in our head by these leaders. Someone on Facebook, I don't know the name of that person on Twitter, said it is the is the scare button that they use to scare Nigerians. Anytime you say, do something for us, they say, look, oh, Nigeria is a complex place. Don't just go near it. But the man who said Nigeria is complex is able to build a complex called a country home with the money that should have been meant for 5 universities in his state. The man that claims that Nigeria is complex bought a jet from money he stole from the state, and there's no hospital in that state. The man that claims Nigeria is complex is able to fly to London for treatment of catarrh, and they cannot just put money or medicine in Aso Rock clinic that has been budgeted for. I had the same encounter with Donald Duke in Abuja recently. He threw the same thing at me. I said to him, you're lying, sir. There's nothing complex about Nigeria, but you guys get away with your crimes against Nigeria. That's why you just come and say, because it was the first thing he said. It is their slogan. Nigeria is complex. You know, such a complex nature, complex country. The moment they say it to a lot of people, you just pull back. Look, oh, it's true. Only some few people. You know how it is like. I don't know how many of you hated maths in secondary school. I did. So anytime they say we are doing some equations, the moment we start getting to quadratic equation, so many of us just know that only 2 people know how to solve it. That's how they throw it at you in Nigeria. They just say it's complex, so you leave it to only a few people to do or manage, and they see themselves as, some of them see themselves as a genius. It's a lie. But that is not to say that there are not some expertise required to govern Nigeria properly. And I'm telling you that I'm sitting in front of you with 30 years of expertise of making or helping to make Nigeria a better place. And I have seen 7 leaders, both military and civilian, come and go. And each time something went wrong, I knew what they did wrong. Right? What did Babangida do wrong? The refusal to hand over to somebody who won the election democratically. Was that a complex thing to do? No. What became complex was the outcome of that particular refusal. And that's why Nigeria did not develop for 7 years after. The thing they called GSM was coming to Nigeria in 1993. It was the annulment of the election that made all those people to move their GSM away. Can you imagine if we had GSM and also had a country of our own that had democracy since 1993? Whether Abiola governed well or not, the democracy would have matured by now. GSM would have come. So many of the things we wanted to do at that time would have done. The unity of the country would not have been affected the way it is affected today. What was the complex thing Abacha did? His refusal to hand over. What was the complex thing Obasanjo did? Torture. What was the complex thing that Yar'Adua did? He was sick. He refused to disclose his illness, and the country went into a complex tailspin. What was the complex thing Jonathan did? Corruption. And Desiani, the 2 of them, whatever they were doing behind the closed door, that was a complex thing that almost derailed Nigeria. What was the complex thing Buhari did? His refusal to disclose his illness. His refusal to disclose his certificate. Yeah? And his refusal to govern Nigeria at all. And now he wants Nigerians to reward him with another term after having such a disastrous 3 years. Only wicked leaders will do that. In a normal, conscientious country, Buhari would have said to Nigerians, I'm very sorry. I have done so much bad towards you. You have been nice to me. Please find another person to govern this place. I can't do it. And everybody would have been clapping for him. But what is the man doing? He's manipulating. He wants to come back again for another 4 years. The 3 years you spent, you only did 2 years that we know of. The rest of the time, You were dodging in and out of hospital. Till today, the man refuses to disclose to us what is wrong with him. So, I am just making that explanation so that you can understand why you may have to pray and fast for 17 days before you go on your next trip to Nigeria. You did 3 before. But if these guys win, you might need 3 months of fasting before your next trip. And you'll still not be safe when you go to Nigeria. But what is it that we can do differently? That's the question you ask. And I'm telling you that we can do security differently by not only making sure that you are the commander-in-chief of the armed forces and the police. I would not be a commander-in-chief that sent the IG of police to go to Jos, and he went to a party, and I'm still looking at him.
Transmission.
And then he come and give you some transmission excuses. And he's still the IG. That is not governance. I will not be the president of Nigeria that cannot generate electricity that will be 24 hours in 3 years. I will not be the president of Nigeria that cannot complete Lagos-Ibadan Expressway in 3 years just to repair it, or the Kano-Kaduna Expressway, or the East-West Highway, so that people who are coming home like you will not die in an accident that is needless. I will not be the president of Nigeria in which tankers are parked from Ojuelegba to Apapa, and I know that it will burn down half of Lagos in a matter of time. And I'm there watching, hoping that the disaster will happen first before I can intervene. I will not be the president of Nigeria, with due respect to you, all of you who are religious, who will hand Nigeria over to God. Because God already did what he had to do with Nigeria. He's probably on sabbatical with us now. So we better get our ass together. Our brother who asked about what we are going to do, and he talked about 2-party state. I beg to disagree with you, brother. It's not only 2 parties that have won elections in Nigeria. Different parties have won elections in Nigeria. In 1999, the party that won the election was PDP. Right? In 2015, it was APC. APC did not exist until 2014 or thereabout. So new parties have won elections before in Nigeria. And a new party is about to win election in Nigeria in next year. So don't worry about the 2-party thing. We are not in the US. We are in Nigeria. They are going to be shocked again. You see, I was in Nigeria during the 2015 election. From 2014 to 2015, I was traveling and out. In those days, I used to hide and go into Nigeria through the bush paths. And I was there when Jonathan people were bragging every day that there was no way they can lose the election. I was there one day, the person was bragging, the moment they drink 2 bottles of Star, they start to talk rubbish. He was one of the party leaders of PDP in Lagos, and he didn't know who I was, of course. He was saying that it will be a shame on money if they lose the election. Money can never be shamed in Nigeria. Was money not shamed in Nigeria in 2015? We are going to shame money again in 2019, because let me tell you, I have traveled to the core parts of Nigeria, and there's nowhere that Buhari is enjoying love. So Nigeria, when Buhari won in 2015, it was because people voted for him all the way to Edo State. Today, Buhari cannot win in Edo State. That is where Mega Comrade is from.
It will never happen.
Otherwise, we are going to expel Mega Comrade from our movement.
Yes, sir.
Take it back.
Buhari cannot win in Taraba. Buhari cannot win in Plateau. Buhari cannot win in Benue. Buhari can't even win in Kaduna. Even if he wins in those places, he can't win with the same margin he won in 2015. So the space is there for us to contest and defeat this old order. But let me tell you, it's not only Buhari that is running. There are some other wicked people that are also running. PDP is also going to come out with a candidate. And we have heard that it's the man that is running from the US that they might pick, Atiku. I've challenged that one to come to the US for a debate. But he said the US embassy did not give him visa. You know why he didn't get the visa? He never applied for one. That's the truth. Because there's no way Atiku would have gone to apply for visa when they are looking for ways to jail his wife in the US. You cannot apply for visa to a country from which you ran away in the first place. That's the truth. So, we will outlast these people. And in outlasting them, that tech idea you are talking about, you'll be able to bring into Nigeria. Let me tell you, you might have the brightest ideas, and Professor Blessing, is that correct, man? Yes, has said it. You took your idea home and wanted to be commissioner. I took Sahara reporters home last year, 2017. I created a foundation, took money home, set it up in GRA Keja. They were monitoring me. Before you knew it, somebody came to assault me physically. Before I knew it, Saraki had gone to court in Kwara and gotten a Jankara judgment, like the one that they purchased all over the place. Before I could say Jack Robinson, they had seized all the money I took to Nigeria. They don't want, you see, people who themselves have never done business before cannot tolerate a hardworking person. Buhari, Saraki has never worked before in his life. You can go and check. He came as a medical doctor from the UK, and we checked and they say he has never practiced before, by the way, so it's a crime to call him a doctor. But I heard that he treats Dino. I don't know what he treats him for.
Blood pressure.
So he came as an NYC and he got a job at Societe Generale Bank, SGBN. And before you knew it, he started stealing money there. His first crime was stealing 500,000 naira in 1992. Do you know what I was doing in 1992? I was working hard to bring about democracy to Nigeria as a student activist at the University of Lagos. But look at what they did. They took all the money from me. They seized the money. Because they cannot tolerate people who are hardworking, who have independent mind. If I come to Nigeria and accepted to work as his PA, to be doing propaganda or doing social media, I will be the richest today. The guy who equally left from the US to go and work for him as a PA, his wife is doing nursing in Nigeria. They are paying her as a staff of the Senate in Nigeria. Yeah, one of Saraki's media, social media aid. That's the kind of Nigerians they like. But for you to have an independent business, you bring it to town, you want to, they will shut it down. So until you create the objective space for you to function and flourish, you are wasting your time. Take your business there. Within 6 months, if you are doing well, they will come after you. I'm telling you that. It doesn't matter who you are. The place is closed to good people. But if you want to do money laundering, you go there. Before you know, you'll be driving Bentley around here in Atlanta. And I know there are people in this Atlanta who have helped them launder money and driving good cars. You know them amongst yourselves. So, those are my answers. And I think we have 3 more questions, and we'll take them.
We are going to take 3 more questions for now, after which we're going to dinner, then we'll come back. Sister in white, come forward. Now, brother, get ready. Please tell us your name. Make it short, please.
Take it back.
Take it back.
Good evening, Mr. President. By the grace of God, you will be in that office. This is my first time, and I'm really happy to be here. My first question is, you are a man of integrity, and that is why I'm here today. I followed all your social media, everything you posted on YouTube. Now, if we win and resume the office, when we win and you resume the office, how do we trust you and the people you will be working with? There are lots of alagidis in Nigeria. And that is my fear and the fear of every people that are ready to vote for you. how are we going to trust you and the people you'll be working with? And my last question is, we are tired of hearing about electricity, road, water, all those things are fallacies. And I believe, which I still have faith, that you will do something. But the most important thing is, how will you take hunger from the land, especially the children? There's too much hunger in the land.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my sister. We're going to take two more. Let's hear from an elder. My brother, get ready. Let's hear from our elder. Says the words of our elders are words of wisdom. Yes. So let's hear from Elder Ahemudi. We are going to get to everybody, please.
My name is Joseph Ahemudi. My question to him today is, with the security situation in Nigeria today, between now and the election time, how are you going to take care of your own security?
Wow. See?
Thank you, sir. Now, Brian in the back. Please tell us your name and go straight to the question.
My name is Larry Omoyele. I'm really glad to meet you in person today. I've actually followed you all the while from your student day. And, I'm also a friend to Olufale who work with you in New York. My question is this, and I'm going to be pretty straightforward. When you win, you're going to come up with a lot of challenges, like the Senate. The Senate, for instance, they are used to inflating the budget and important line items that are brought to corruption. How are you sensitizing the public today that what we need to do is not just to win the presidency, but also to win the Senate? It is very important. If you have a Senate against you, a corrupt Senate, you'll be equally as bad as the outgoing President Buhari. That is what I think is very important to pass across. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Do you mind taking one more?
One more from this side.
Okay, madam, we'll go.
Good evening, sir. I really appreciate this privilege because I think that this is the first time. I'm a 28-year-old Nigerian person. I went to school in Europe and I have had only 2 relationships with Nigerian federal government. I went to NYSC and I have a passport. I'm 28 years and this is the only 2 things in my life that the federal government has done for me. My life has been fully private based on my parents. I didn't know what government was until I stepped out of Nigeria and realized that I should flick the switch and lights should come on. I didn't know that. So, I've written my questions now, and I've read a lot about dysfunctional countries, and Singapore was a mess before Lee Kuan Yew came back from Cambridge to build Singapore. 65 years down the line, last year, Singaporean passport became the most powerful passport in the world. When we are talking of building Nigeria, I think it should go beyond shambles and tatters. We should be talking 21st century. When I see things in this country, I'm moved because I'm like, why don't we have this in Nigeria? Are we not human beings? One thing I read in his book, moving from third to first world country, is that when he came to Nigeria in 1957, he saw some things that we have failed. And today, Buhari and his mates are not seeing that. 57 years ago, he said something in his book. He said when he came back to his country to be president, he assembled a team of the cabinet, few people who had lives, people who had careers and were actually doing okay financially before becoming ministers and things like that. So my question is, how do you intend to select people that won't see the need to steal money because it's poverty? My little brother right there is 17 years old. He knows that if he wants to buy a car, he could get a car note. So he doesn't have to steal to buy a BMW. So how do you intend to select a team of people that would not be poverty-stricken and will have careers, doctors, lawyers, bankers, businessmen that wouldn't have the need to steal for after office? The second question is, I know a little bit about American history, and I realized that there is no way you can build a functional country without the rule of law. The superiority of the rule of law. Once there's one person in 180 2 million Nigerians that is above the law, Nigeria has failed. How do you intend to maintain the superiority of the law above of any? We'll see what's going on with Trump right now. That's the most powerful man in the world. He's facing probes. He's president of the United States, and he's been asked questions. How do you intend to make, if your brother mess up, are you going to put him to face the wrath of it?
Yeah.
My third question is one thing that I personally have a problem with. I'm a Muslim. My religion is my problem. How do you intend to separate religion from state?
Yes.
Because as long as you still keep sending people to Mecca with Nigerians' money, sending people to Jerusalem with Nigerians' money, it doesn't make, if you want to be a Christian, it's your business. I'm a Muslim, it's my business. There's got to be no connection. Yep. When I was leaving school, this is just an addition. My friends from Ege University in Izmir were going back to Germany and Russia and America, and I was faced with two chances. Am I going to go back to Nigeria or go to another person's country? I had to come here because there was nowhere to go in Nigeria. No. And bear in mind, I am from a family where they could afford to send me abroad, and I knew that there was nowhere to go in Nigeria. So what of that boy that is in Sokoto or in Jalingo or somewhere who had no Lagos roads and stuff like that? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good question.
Thank you so much. You'll be a waste if you're not part of the Take It Back movement. You have a passion, man, and we need your passion in this movement. The first question is about integrity, trust, and the trust with people that I'm working with. I'll tell you two things. The question about integrity, I'll tell you a little past history I've had, and I'll also tell you a little bit about what I would do as a guarantee to know that I'm not the kind of person that cannot be trusted. When it was very, very cool to drive a car brand known as Peugeot 505. I was in my 20s at the University of Lagos. Welcome, Otumba. Thank you. And as a student union president, they had just annulled the election of Abiola, and Babangida was giving out 505 to students, 505 saloon car, GT is what they call that. There's an SR and there's a GT. I think the GT one has a rubber at the back. Yes, and it has air conditioning. And it has a tape inside, you crank it up, the whole world is following you in those days. They brought to me and I said to the guy who brought it, I said, how long can the car last? He said, in 3 years, we will bring another one for you if you just don't be part of the troublemakers. And I said to him, I said, Babangida will not be here in another 3 years. So you might as well just disappear with your car. A few years later, I went to Nigeria. 2003 was the first time I went to Nigeria. I was going to our village and I asked my brother, I haven't seen a 505 since I came to Nigeria. What happened to that car, that famous car? He said, 505, nobody uses 505 anymore. And then as we were about to enter the bush to our village, the one came out carrying a wedu. They had removed the roof, removed the destiny of the car. It doesn't look like 5. He said, that's the 505 that you have been looking for. So I was telling myself, if I mortgaged my future in 1993 because of a 505, where would I be today? Because somehow the information would have leaked that I'm one of the student leaders who collected the car. And people would have ridiculed me. It even happened to Abiola. I went to Abiola's house. We were so impressed with what we were doing, he gave me 800,000 naira. I said, Chief, did you not just hear me condemning the politicians who are following you as thieves? Why would you want to corrupt me at this stage? He said, no, you just want for the things you are doing. I said, no, I'm not interested. Chishi. I didn't collect from him. It was on that basis that Abiola asked me to stand behind him. And the video is still floating around today. The kind of integrity I got from that video is more than maybe $800,000 today. Just because people said, we saw you with Abiola in 1993. If I collected that money, I would have been inside packing the money when he was doing the interview outside. I would never have respected me to have called me to come and stand behind him when the interviewer came. Who was the interviewer? Tony Momo I mean, is it John Momo, who is now the owner of Channels Television? For the rest, I would say this. I'm declaring my assets as soon as I become a candidate, so that you will not be wondering how I'm going to make money as president of Nigeria. What they do now in Nigeria is they declare assets in anticipation of what they can steal. But mine, I will declare because I have a house in my village. I don't have anywhere else. But in the US house, I will hate to declare it as an asset because it belongs to the US government, Uncle Sam. But I will write the address there as my asset because it's regarded as an asset. I don't even own it all by myself. So, what else? Nothing. I don't have anything else, and that is the declaration that needs to be made. And I have to force all the ministers who are going to work with me to declare their asset, and we are going to make it public. You know, because part of the problem with Nigeria is the opacity of how we conduct business. Everything is always shrouded in secrecy. In this county, if you know the address of a house, you will know the owner of the house within 5 minutes on the internet. So why can't we know all the people who own the properties in Abuja? That's lined up in a place where you can search the database. That's right. Or the database of all the companies that are registered in Nigeria and their directors. So that if a company gets a 10 billion naira contract and you find that one of the directors is 9 years old, it starts to sound an alarm in your ears. That is the kind of transparency we need, that will stop some of this corruption and that will increase the integrity of people in government. Let me tell you, there's nowhere in the world where there are no thieves. The most corrupt street in the world is based in New York. It's called Wall Street. Somebody stole 50 billion naira there.
Dollars,
sorry. You know, I've been traveling to Nigeria a lot these days. But the difference between us and here is that when they are caught, there are consequences. That's right. All the guys who did Enron, they've either committed suicide, or even the secretary that typed the letter, that they will send the person to jail. They say you are supposed to know that the letter you are typing will lead to corruption. And the ones that are not going to jail are plea bargaining. That's how societies reboot themselves. And that answers one of your questions, brother, about the rule of law. A brother is in a house, he mentioned something to me and I can't forget it, you know. He said, Nigeria has been building structures without systems. And that's our problem. Every time, like you're right, we are discussing building bridges, roads, and all these fancy things, but we are not thinking about the systems that we will maintain them after they are built. But what will be the difference is a leader who understands how these things can be done and who's got the exposure on how these things can be done. The sad part is that each time we have a chance to change Nigeria, we always move in the wrong direction. And that is why we are where we are today. I want to answer because I'm on this page with religion. I'm totally on the same page with you. You don't even want to get me started with religion. Right? I am not going to invest a dime of state money on sending somebody to Jerusalem or Mecca. If you want to go to Mecca, you should go to Mecca on your own. There is no reason why Zamfara has 20 students doing WAEC, but they send 5,000 people to Mecca. I would love to take that money and invest it in education and have the best next engineer from Zamfara. You know? And Zamfara doesn't have a problem producing the best imam, or Lagos producing the best Christian. If I am handling Lagos, I will help TB Joshua to build a highway to his church, because that's tourism right there. But he will have a toll gate. Anybody that's coming, you pay the government. That's true. Yes. I'm alarmed that there's no highway directly from his church to the airport. I will help him build it. But they will have two toll gates. The one that is collecting dollar and the one that is collecting naira. You will have to, yes. You want miracle, you have to pay the state too. Yep. Because, listen, churches, Nigerian churches that want to come and build headquarters here in Texas, noise ordinance, they haven't been able to clear it, they haven't been able to open it. Because when you are dealing with America, America's God is dollar. That's where they said in God we trust is written on their dollar. Anything else, you have to discuss with the city council, and that is how the state relates with religious. But that is not to say that even here in America they use religion to, of course, confuse people. But Nigeria don't have to go that way. But that's a topic for another symposium discussion in the future. Security situation of my person, sir. I am not worried about security, with due respect. I know it's a very difficult question. Some people think I'm stupid to go to Nigeria. But listen, Nigeria is killing a lot of people every day. We might as well just throw ourselves on the front lines and help Nigeria. If people didn't take risk, you and I would not be sitting down in Atlanta today. That's right. Because this was a no-go area for black people some 50 years, 60 years ago. The mayor of Riverdale was telling us that as of when she was in her teens, they were still hanging people along the highway because it was the coolest thing to do for white people, the supremacists, KKK guys. But because some people took the risk in this same Georgia and the South, we are all enjoying it today. You can be an immigrant in America and you are freer in America than you are free in Kano, or Anambra, or even in Lagos or Port Harcourt. The segregation in our society is worse than the 1960s segregation in America, depending on where you come from, depending on your religion, depending on your ethnicity, and depending on the people you know in government. And that is what must change. Typically, nobody would discuss what they do for security openly. But personally, my best security is my conscience. And I'm going to keep fighting for Nigeria until Nigeria is delivered from the demonic rulers and the wicked leaders of Nigeria. The conversation about the National Assembly, I'm always told not to say this, but I cannot stop myself from saying it. Nigeria don't need a Senate. Yes. I swear. If I have my way, the first election we do is a referendum to abolish the Nigerian Senate. Yes. That Senate is a total waste of space, money, time. It's a place it's a retirement home for criminals. You can imagine a Nigerian Senate in which Bukola Saraki is the Senate president. And you want something good to come out of that place. But Nigeria cannot also perpetually be held to hostage by any arm of government, whether it's executive, legislative, or the judiciary. And as a result, I promise you that Nigerian people will react if the burden is too much on them. The same way we are about to react now, next year, in the election. Nothing stops you from ensuring that your brothers and sisters at home don't vote for any of the former senators to go back to the Senate.
Yes.
Yes.
That is the solution. Elect good people into the Senate, and Nigeria will never have to deal with a Senate that we are afraid of. What I'm hearing from people who are talking about National Assembly is that they have looked at the value of National Assembly and seen it to be useless, but they see them as marauders who are holding the country to ransom from time to time. Yes. Okonjo-Iweala had to disclose a criminal conduct she engaged in. She said she helped to bribe the Senate 17 billion to pass the budget. That's what they do every year. But I will give you the guarantee today that as long as your hands are clean, nobody can blackmail you as the president of Nigeria. If they come and we want to do a budget and they ask me for money, I won't tell you what I do. I will do. But you know where I used to work? Sahara Reporters. And they know that single-handedly, Sahara Reporters took on all these guys one by one. You know where they are. One of them became a musician. Yes. Overnight. So we would just have to ensure that in fighting for the presidency, we also fight for the soul of the Nigerian National Assembly in this next election. It's a task that we must embark upon. NYC, yes, the brother who was talking about NYC, and like I said, you spoke about Singapore, and you spoke about the rule of law. I would tell you that what made Singapore also very successful wasn't just the Q of the leader you mentioned, but right, it was the fact that crime began to attract consequences in Singapore. In fact, every country that had moved from underdevelopment to proper development were countries that got rid of the criminals that held them to ransom. Without taking care of those criminals, you are not making any progress. Listen, there's no senator who wants to collect 13 million naira next year as his allowance. They want to move that 13 to 20 million. If you go to our website now, Sowore 2019, we have a tool there that was built by one of our tech guys. You can compare your salary with that of a Nigerian senator. And if you are earning 100,000 today, it means that you have to work for 26 years for you to make what is a senator is making in one month. In 1 year.
1 year.
You have to work for 26 years if your salary is 100,000. I'm sure that US senators are going on that tool and imputing their own salaries, and they will be hearing that they have to work for 5 years for them to get the salary of a Nigerian senator. The salary and the allowances of a Nigerian senator is higher than that of the US president.
Yes, 400,000.
Yes. And you are telling me that without consequences, that these guys are just going to leave the feeding bottle called Nigeria for us, or that one day they'll just stop stealing and say, we are sorry, we want you to now have schools, we want you to have hospitals. They don't send their children to school. And so many of you here, with due respect, apart from paying your bills, you know your second job now. It will help people to come and deliver children in Atlanta. And you know the wives of people who come here in Atlanta to deliver their children. They are wives of senators and high people in the society.
Chairman.
Yes. Because anytime I'm flying like this, everybody is pregnant. Half of the plane is pregnant. And I'm like, where are you guys headed? They're going to have their babies in the US. And I'm not blaming them. These guys don't believe in Nigeria anymore. There's nobody who wants to carry a Nigerian passport. It has become a liability. So you can imagine a country where people prefer to go and die in the Mediterranean Sea than to live in their own country. So what would that be? It's what we are facing. There has to be consequences, brother, for those who have, not only those who are stealing now, those who stole yesterday, but those who have been stealing in the past. There are mansions that we have to convert to universities.
Yes.
There are mansions that we have to seize and take and convert to hospitals.
Yes.
There are mansions that have to become libraries.
Yes.
And there are businesses that the state must take over because they were stolen from us and they must be returned to us. But if you are under any illusion that Buhari will do it for you, you are wasting your time. Buhari himself could not, he declared his asset, declared at the point he said he has some land in Port Harcourt, he doesn't know the address. That tells you that Buhari is part and parcel of, till today he has not been able to show us the list of his asset declaration form, even though he promised that he will do so. The Buhari that tells you that he has 150 cows, suddenly gets to Aso Rock and is riding around in 9 jets. 9 jets is what is in the presidential fleet. The man promised to sell them, he never sold one. The man is just having fun in government. And that's why he doesn't want to leave. Except we serve him quick notice, which is going to happen next year. Yes. Because it will also serve as a deterrent to old people like him who think that they can continue to use Nigeria as old people's home. I mean, look at Buhari. Buhari's sister is 82 years old. Buhari is 75 years old. That tells you that if he was on that 23 team, they would have gone to play the World Cup at the age of 40. It's just like one of the keepers. I said his grandson is 17 and he's 19, something like that. So we have to just be very clear about where we are going in Nigeria. We have to be clear about the future and the direction we are headed. And the moment we make that decision, you will be surprised, like our brother here said. It's not only Singapore that came to Nigeria in the 60s. Was it not Thailand as well? Was it Singapore that came? Malaysia also came to pick up palm kernel from 94 in Benin and rubber. Today we are importing oil, palm oil from Malaysia. Thailand, we are buying rice from Thailand as if the world is coming to an end. The other day, the Minister of Agriculture said that they are growing so much rice in Nigeria that Thailand is having problems with their rice mills. Thailand had to come up quickly and say, no, we don't have any problem. You can lie if you want to lie to your people. How can Thailand rice mill be filling up when there's no rice mill in Nigeria? There's only one functioning rice mill in Nigeria, in Kebbi State, the lake rice that they grow. So how can you do agriculture by propaganda? Is it going to work? So these are the things that must happen, my brother. There has to be consequences. See, rule of law does not exist by itself. There has to be one human being too that is making that rule of law to work. You are mentioning the US. The reason why the US works is that there's no way a policeman will stop you on the highway and you'll be bringing out your phone and be calling the commissioner of police. You can't even touch your phone and say, sir,
He'll shoot you.
And that's why they do sir until they kill you. Sir, don't move. Please, don't move. I'm about to shoot you now. Don't touch your phone.
Don't put your hands
And he'll shoot you and I say, I told you. I didn't want to kill you. But you moved. So, if you don't have a system like that in Nigeria, where a policeman can walk without interference, that is the real rule of law. But policeman will see a car. He has not even seen the license plate. The moment he just smells this, it go like this.
Twale.
The car could have in his boot kidnapped persons, if not checking. As long as you have that kind of police mentality, you are not going anywhere because that cannot bring consequences. If you want to have rule of law, it has to start from the top, like you mentioned.
Yes.
You have to have a police force that is not taking files of criminals to the Astor Rock Villa, or the EFCC will be waiting for president to approve of which corrupt people to arrest. You ever see your time? But we will make sure that that is not happening in our own time. I am even of the opinion that as president of the country, we should not have immunity.
Yes. Yes.
Because all this immunity is the biggest problem we have. We can have some laws that protect the president from frivolous lawsuits. Because, you know, in America, people go to sue God. You know, it is when they get to the point of service that they lose the case because God has no address. But in Nigeria, they will sue you too. They will sue the president for everything. Somebody divorces his wife, they will sue you. So you can protect the president from those frivolous lawsuits. But otherwise, there's no reason why a president who is engaged in corruption cannot be arrested.
The governor too.
The president, the same day that the Supreme Court of Nigeria freed Saraki, is the same day the court in Pakistan jailed the former president of Pakistan 14 years, jailed the daughter 7 years, jailed the relative another 1 year. The man is waiting to go to jail. He's in London. He can't go back home. The same day that our Supreme Court said that they can't find any evidence in Saraki's asset declaration. Saraki that declared assets that he didn't have, he declared it in advance, in anticipation of the future. Supreme Court said they can't find anything wrong with him. How can you have rule of law like that? But something can come and change everything radically. I tell you, there are judges who are good, but they don't have the opportunity to serve now because their bosses are bad. There are policemen who are willing to do the job. Where did we find Ribadu? Is it not the same Nigeria police force? Where is Magu from? Magu is a serving member of the Nigeria police force. That shows you that there are people, if we have the right kind of leadership, especially a president who is non-nonsense, who can step on toes, which I love to do, by the way, we find Nigerians who are also very good wherever they are. The country will be working. You will be asking us a year from now, sir. When we were asking you that question, sir, we thought it was a joke. Oh. Look at what you have turned the country into. Do you know why? If you are worried about Nigeria becoming US and it's not possible, or becoming Europe is not possible, at least Nigeria can be like Ghana now.
Yes, sir.
If you go to Ghana, if you are from Ghana, most of you would have returned home by now. If you don't go to Ghana, light doesn't go. They had a small problem of electricity, they resolved it within 1 year. Still, they voted against the president that made it happen at all. If you enter Accra today, they've just opened an airport, brand new terminal. Senegal just did the same thing. Nigeria has been building that terminal you see there. The one in Lagos, the one that the Chinese is building, I think it's almost 8 years that they have been doing that. They cannot finish it. They cannot finish that terminal. That terminal is not going to be open under this government. I can tell you that. Maybe after I say it now, they're going to open it tomorrow. But they have no plans for Nigeria. And that's the truth. I hope that I answered your question very well. The last question you ask is the kind of people that will work with me. I'll tell you something. If you are good, you will attract good people. That's right. Yes. Those of you who are sitting down here today to listen to me, you just heard that I'm coming. Probably you knew me from Sahara Reporters and you trusted Sahara Reporters and you're here. You could have been somewhere else, or you don't have to be here. Because you want to share your ideas, you want to hear what I have to say. Because you believe implicitly in your mind that I'm a good person. So when I'm going to the presidency, I will attract all of you good people to come with us. And the good people from inside Nigeria, the good people from outside Nigeria will come together and create a new Nigeria that everybody will be proud of, that will also become an envy of Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and Ghana. And perhaps where some Americans who are running away from Trump can come spend their vacation.
Yes.
Thank you.
Take it back. Take it back. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. One thing I can guarantee is you've not come here to waste your time. We are ready for you. We are going to literally get to everybody. You can see that he came prepared. But for now, we are going to have dinner. Like I said, we've made the price affordable. Tickets will be going around. Just grab yours. It's just $50. And if you are moved, because I can see so many of you with passion. If you are moved, you can give more. But we just made it affordable at the price of $50. And after that, we'll come back, take more questions and do other things. But for now, it's dinner time. The ladies with the ticket, please. And while we're doing that,
please, you can remit. You can also pay through Cash App. You can pay through Cash App. If you want to pay through Cash App, please see our brother over there. Dr. Ernest will take Cash App. So $50 is just a form of donation. Yes, in the form of, donation.
For those of you who already have tickets, and now please let me call on Mr. Fad to tell us what we're having for dinner if he's around. Anyway, let's go here. If you already have your tickets, you can go. Dinner is ready.
Also, for those who want to take a picture with our future president,
Please, let's be on the queue and we can do that right away.
Let's go eat. Let's go eat.
Take it back.
Because I'm seeing this flag.
Take it back. Oh, take it back.
Where's the queue? Where's the queue? Right here.
Right here. Right here. Yes.
Sowore, hey, Sowore, Sowore. Oya, come and take it back. Sowore, oya, take it back for Nigeria. Sowore, 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 Sowore. Oya, come and take it back. Oya, take it back for Nigeria. Take it back to the start. We need the somebody correct. Shut the light in the gap to make the young connect. Pay attention to the voice. Sowore is the choice. He is the man, he is the one. Nobody come to make the noise. We need to support it. Poverty come on.
We have time for this. We have time for
I see some people asking who has the ticket. Supporters are ready. They're looking for who has the ticket.
Let's go get there.
Okay. Where Ernest? Where exactly? Up front.
We're coming back for that. We're coming back for that. Wait. Thank you.
The tickets are outside.
We're coming back. We're coming back for that.
So you want to sit where?
We have time for the pictures. But this one is starting with all our plans. Yeah, he want to use the bathroom. I don't know what he want to use the bathroom.
Oh, I thought he was leaving.
No, he's not leaving. He want to use the bathroom. Oh, let him use the bathroom. He's coming. Please.
I want to go to the bathroom.